What if your entire life could shift with one sentence? What if every door you've been banging on silently suddenly opened with a whisper? And what if the sentence you've been searching for was never far from your lips, just waiting for you to remember who you are when you speak it? You see, desire doesn't die when it's delayed. It waits, like a sacred flame sheltered from the storm. It flickers quietly while you wander through the fog of fear, doubt, and repetition. So many walk this earth not knowing the words they release are laws in motion. They speak defeat and then wonder why life feels like a wall. They declare lack and call it realism. They speak as victims, but pray for victory. Your world, whether abundant or barren, is built by your voice. Florence Scovel Shinn called it the law of the tongue, the truth that every word is a wand, and most people are casting shadows instead of light. If your tongue were a divine architect, what have you been designing? If your voice was a sculptor, what has it been shaping in the silence? You are not just a speaker, you are a decryptor. Words are spiritual contracts, stamped in invisible ink across the canvas of your days, and yet, many speak without vision, without reverence, without command. Some say, nothing ever works for me, and the law responds, as you wish. Others whisper, I'll never have enough, and lack rushes in to fill the space. Every sentence you speak is either building the bridge or burning it. But somewhere deep in you, you've felt it, the ache, the pause, that sacred silence when you wonder, is there something more? Is there something I'm not saying right? And yes, there is. There's a sentence, a holy key, a string of words aligned not with fear, but with divine truth. Picture this, a person lost in thick fog, each step unsure, the air heavy with doubt, but ahead, faintly glowing, is a radiant doorway, golden still, and as they approach, they feel the pull of something ancient and true, a phrase echoing through the silence, a sentence that sounds like home. This sentence doesn't beg, it commands, it doesn't question, it claims, it doesn't hope timidly, it knows, and it's not just about saying the words, it's about becoming the one who can carry them, with reverence, with certainty, with spiritual authority. There is a reason your manifestations have felt delayed. It's not punishment, it's positioning. The universe doesn't deny, it delivers in divine sequence. When you align with divine speech, you don't need 100 affirmations. You need the right vibration spoken from the right identity. One sentence, spoken with power, aligned with the law, unstoppable. So many ask, when will it happen? But the question isn't when, it's who. Who are you being when you speak? Are you speaking as the chosen, or as the chaste, as the aligned, or as the abandoned? This is the awakening. This is the moment where your old voice ends and a new decree begins. By the end of this message, you'll not only know the sentence, you'll know how to speak it into reality, how to step through the radiant door, how to command your life like the divine vessel you are, not with force, but with faith, not with desperation, but with divine decision. Because when your voice is aligned with spiritual law, desire becomes direction, speech becomes substance, and the invisible becomes inevitable. What if the words you've been speaking all your life were quietly writing the script of your reality? What if every casual complaint, every whispered doubt, every frustrated sigh became an invisible order placed into the divine warehouse of your future? This is not just poetic philosophy. It's spiritual law. Florence Scovel Shinn said it plainly, and with power, your word is your wand. And when you begin to grasp this truth not as a concept but as a living law, your life begins to shift. Because words are not noise, they are not filler, they are commands, decrees, blueprints. Every time your lips move, you are authoring destiny. Every sentence is a seed, spoken in the soil of the subconscious. And the law of substitution is always at work. You cannot hold to opposing thoughts or words at once. When you speak lack, you cancel abundance. When you affirm doubt, you uproot faith. But the miracle is, you can substitute, you can interrupt the current, you can override the fear, you can speak truth where lies once lived. This is how spiritual law works. Not by begging, not by effort, but by alignment. The law of command is your divine right in motion. It is not arrogance to speak as if you already have. It is alignment with the invisible. It is declaring what already exists in divine mind and allowing it to take form in your world. Say this slowly. Every word I speak creates form in the invisible. Let this truth settle into the soil of your being. Let it rearrange your memory of every time you said, I can't. Let it replace every tired phrase like nothing ever works for me. Your subconscious is not logical. It is obedient. It does not filter commands based on truth. It obeys repetition, emotion, and certainty. And most people unknowingly use that voice to affirm the very chains they wish to break. They say, I'm always stuck. They say, I never have enough. They say, it's too late for me. And so the divine canvas receives the brushstroke and paints what was declared. You are not just speaking, you are sculpting. You are not just venting, you are voting for what stays in your life. Imagine now, your words not as vapor disappearing into the air, but as golden threads weaving a future. Each phrase spinning a shape, each sentence tying together unseen events. Close your eyes for a moment. Visualize yourself in a quiet, sacred room. In front of you, a loom of light. Threads of potential stretch across it, waiting. You open your mouth and speak not in fear, not in doubt, but in clarity. You say, I am divinely guided. You say, what I desire is already mine in spirit. You say, I release the old and welcome the divine. And you watch as the golden threads tighten, weaving new forms before your eyes. This is not fantasy. This is the spiritual technology of the soul. You do not need to know how. You only need to align with the truth. Begin to listen to yourself as if you are a sacred instrument. Not everything must be spoken. Not every thought deserves a voice. Speak only what you are willing to see take root. Let your internal dialogue become a sanctuary, not a battlefield. Reframe the unseen words, I'm lost, becomes I am being redirected by divine wisdom. I'm tired of waiting, becomes I trust divine timing more than my own. I don't know what to do. Becomes the right path is revealed to me step by step. Spiritual mastery is not silence. It is sound aligned with soul. Now, speak this aloud. I command only what is sacred, true, and aligned with divine order. My word is law in the realm of the unseen. Let this be the moment you shift from speaking unconsciously to commanding consciously, from casting shadows to casting light, from scattered syllables to sacred sound. Because every word you speak is building something. And now you know exactly what desire is sacred. It is the soul's compass pointing toward divine fulfillment. But for many, what begins as a spark of longing quietly fades into silence, not because the dream was too big, not because it was impossible, but because it was resisted. Most people never realize they are arguing with their own prayers. They speak of wanting love while repeating, I'm always alone. They ask for abundance while thinking, people like me never succeed. They dream of peace while feeding the very storm they want to escape. This is the hidden battlefield, not out there, but within. Florence Scovel Shinn taught the law of non-resistance, a divine truth that says, what you resist, persists. When you fight your desire with fear, with doubt, with contradiction, you lock it out. You do not attract by force. You align by surrender. Imagine a woman planting a seed for love. She places it gently in the soil of her heart, hoping it will grow. But every day, she returns with words soaked in sorrow. I'm always alone. Maybe I'm not meant for love. All the good ones are taken. Each statement is a weed, tangled vines of resistance wrapping around the very seed she planted. And so it doesn't sprout. Not because love isn't meant for her, but because she has unknowingly smothered it. This is not punishment. It's law. The subconscious is always listening. It hears your requests, but it also hears your contradictions. I want to be wealthy, you say, but your mind echoes, I'm so behind in life. I want a new beginning, you declare. But your inner voice mutters, it's probably too late. You cannot create from both faith and fear. One must give way to the other, and most people choose resistance. They try to control, they doubt divine timing, they compare, they replay past wounds as if those memories are prophecies. But spiritual manifestation requires something deeper, a quiet agreement with the unseen, a letting go of the need to know how. You don't have to force your desire into existence. You only have to stop pulling it apart with disbelief. This is the unspoken sabotage, mental reversal, where you imagine a beautiful outcome but backspace it with worry, where you speak truth for 5 minutes, then spend 5 hours feeding the opposite. It is not enough to ask. You must agree. Agree with what you asked for. Agree that it's possible. Agree that you are worthy. Agree that the divine knows the path. Pause, now, breathe. Can you feel where you've been at war with your own desire? Where you've planted the seed and then returned with doubt, digging it up to check if it's growing? Now, visualize that garden. See the weeds of fear, the dry roots of past disappointment, and now gently begin to pull them out. One by one, let the soil breathe again. Speak this aloud, as a sacred realignment. I release resistance and allow divine truth to unfold. Feel those words not as hope but as law. You do not chase truth, you allow it. You do not fight the current. You trust the river to carry what is yours to the silent gate of destiny. When resistance leaves, space is made. Space for healing. Space for miracles. Space for the unseen to finally take shape. Let this be your new inner dialogue. I choose trust over tension. I let go of needing to know and lean into knowing it's done. I am safe to desire and safe to receive. The universe is not withholding. It's waiting. Waiting for you to say yes without a silent no behind it. Let's uncover how to rebuild your reality from the inside out, using the pure power of aligned thought. There are words that beg, words that plead, words that echo with uncertainty. And then there are words that command, not from ego, but from alignment, from a soul tuned to the frequency of divine certainty. One sentence carries this frequency. One sentence opens the unseen, gates that fear keeps locked. What is mine by divine right now comes to me with speed, under grace, in perfect ways. This is not just a sentence. It is a divine password, a sacred access key to spiritual reality. Each word is encoded with power, precision, and promise. Let's open it, one word at a time. What is mine? Not what you covet. Not what belongs to another. But what was formed for you. What bears your soul's signature. What your spirit already knows, even if your mind has forgotten. By divine right. Not earned, not hustled for, not bargained into existence, but ordained, chosen by the higher law, by the divine order that governs all things with perfect fairness. When you speak this, you align with the law of divine right, the truth that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what is not meant for you cannot stay. Now comes to me. Not someday, not when you've struggled enough, but now, the eternal now where manifestation is born. Your words are messengers, and this sentence sends the message. I am no longer waiting. I am receiving. With speed. This is not rushing. It is right timing. It is divine acceleration. It is momentum from the invisible pulling the seen into form. When your heart is clear and your belief is pure, there is no delay. Only delivery. Under grace. Grace is the gentle hand of God. It removes the need for struggle. It makes the path smooth, the arrival effortless. It shields you from consequences of past missteps and brings results not through merit, but through mercy. To say under grace is to say, I allow the divine to do what I cannot do on my own. In perfect ways. Not how your mind imagines, but better, greater, more whole. Perfection, in spiritual terms, means alignment. It means the unfolding that serves not just your desire, but your destiny. This sentence works because it agrees with divine law. The law of expectancy says what you truly expect, you prepare for, and what you prepare for, you invite. So when you speak this sentence, you're not hoping, you're hosting. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Now visualize this golden light, starting at the top of your head, moving slowly through your body. With every syllable you speak, the light grows warmer, stronger, wider. What it moves down your spine, through your chest, into your hands, into the earth. You are becoming the vessel. You are becoming the key. Now, whisper with me, slowly, intentionally. What is mine by divine right now comes to me with speed, under grace, in perfect ways. Feel it. Let the words soak into the soil of your being. You have just spoken law, and the universe must obey. This is not repetition for the sake of memory. This is activation, reverence, realignment. Let this be your spiritual practice, not just a sentence to say when you're in need, but a daily decree of truth. Say it when you wake, say it before sleep, say it when doubt knocks and fear tries to return. And each time, feel the divine orchestra rearranging circumstances. Feel the whisper of release replacing resistance. Feel your soul remembering its inheritance. Let this become your affirmation. My words open the gates of divine fulfillment, and as those gates swing open, you'll begin to notice something else. Life starts to respond. The right people appear. Opportunities find you. Solutions rise without effort. Because once you speak from alignment, you no longer chase. You call, and what is yours hears you. Now, let us move forward, because this power of words is only the beginning. There is a secret rhythm to the universe, a sacred beat that responds not to what you wish once but to what you declare daily. This is the spiritual science of repetition. The subconscious mind does not understand silence. It listens, it waits, and it records, again and again. What you say to yourself becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes what you live, and what you live is what you attract. Florence Scovel Shinn said. A person knows they have reprogrammed their subconscious when the thing they desire no longer feels far away. That shift happens not through effort, but through spiritual consistency. The law of repetition teaches us this, that thoughts repeated become grooves in the soul. Like footsteps worn into sacred earth, our inner words carve our outer path. You are not just thinking a thought, you are planting a seed, and the seed grows when it is watered with unwavering care. Visualize this. Your subconscious is a divine garden, but not every seed planted takes root. Some are buried in shallow soil, forgotten by tomorrow's doubt. Others are strangled by the weeds of conflicting words, but when you speak your truth with reverence and repetition, the soil deepens, the roots strengthen, the garden blooms in divine timing. There was a woman whose life was filled with lack. She was tired, overwhelmed, and spiritually dry. But one day, she heard the sacred sentence, "What is mine by divine right now comes to me with speed, under grace, in perfect ways." At first, she whispered it, quiet, unsure. Her conscious mind scoffed, but her soul leaned in. She committed to it. Every morning, before the world could touch her spirit, she stood at her mirror and spoke the words, 7 times, slowly, like a holy command. And every night, as the world fell asleep, she returned to that altar of sound. 7 times more, her mind began to shift. The fear dissolved. The opportunities came. Her external world did not rush to change, but her inner world did, and eventually, the outer followed like a shadow to light. That is the power of repetition. It is not about shouting affirmations until you're exhausted. It's about allowing your soul to be soaked in divine truth until the false fades away. Repetition is not force. It is spiritual remembrance. It is how we return to what has always been ours. Do not underestimate the whisper that is repeated, the small prayer said daily, the sacred sentence spoken with quiet conviction. The universe is not moved by volume, it is moved by alignment. So I give you this practice, sacred and simple. Each morning before anything else, speak this sentence 7 times. Let your voice rise with the sun. Let your energy stretch with each syllable. Breathe the words as if they were oxygen for your destiny. Then again at night, 7 more times, as the world grows silent. Let your soul become loud. Let the words be the lullaby that resets your inner compass. What is mine by divine right now comes to me with speed, under grace, in perfect ways. Say it like a vow. Say it like rain falling on the roots of a long-forgotten dream. Then, take your journal and ask this question with sacred honesty. Where have my words been, out of alignment with my desire? What have you been saying that contradicts what you are seeking? What inner scripts have been canceling your manifestations? Where have you spoken lack while praying for abundance? This practice is not punishment, it is liberation. You are not here to beg the universe. You are here to command with love, to align with truth, to speak until your soul remembers. Repetition is not repetition when it is revelation. Each time you say the sacred sentence, you are not saying the same thing. You are saying it from a deeper place, a clearer knowing, a holier self. Your words are the rhythm. Your belief is the melody, and your life becomes the song. Let the spiritual science of repetition be your sacred instrument. And as you keep speaking, keep believing, keep aligning, the doors will open. They must, because the universe does not ignore what is spoken in divine rhythm. It responds, and it delivers. Now let us move deeper into the spiritual precision of timing, and how the universe aligns your desire, not by chance, but by sacred orchestration. Desire has long been misunderstood, painted as greedy, called selfish, treated as a burden instead of a blessing. But in the language of the soul, Desire is not desperation. It is divine guidance. You would not crave what was not possible. You would not feel what was not meant for you. Your longing is not a mistake. It is a message, a sacred signal, a compass needle pointing true north to what the divine has already written on your soul. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "There is no loss in divine mind, and that means nothing real can be withheld from you. If the desire lives within you, it is because it was sent to you, not to torment you, but to awaken you. There is a place inside you that already knows, a place untouched by fear, a place where every desire has already been fulfilled in the higher realm. You are not begging life to give you something new. You are remembering what is already yours. But here's the shift. Most people strangle their desires. They clutch them with white knuckles. They say, I need this. They say, without this, I am incomplete. And in that grip, the energy collapses, the gate closes, the flow stops. Desire was never meant to be clenched. It was meant to be cradled, gently, reverently, like a glowing orb of divine fire. You hold it softly in your hands. You let its light warm you. You do not crush it with fear. You nourish it with faith. Close your eyes. Visualize your deepest desire, not as a distant dream, but as a living light resting in your palms. Feel the warmth of it, the beauty of it, the divinity of it, and say within, this is mine by divine law. There is no need to chase. There is only the art of alignment. The shift is not in the world. The shift is within. From I need this to I am this. From please let it happen to it is already unfolding in perfect timing. This is the sacred maturity of manifestation. When you stop begging the universe and start partnering with it. When you stop doubting your desire and begin honoring it as divine instruction. You are not here to shrink your longing. You are here to sanctify it. Your desire is the divine blueprint already etched in your soul. You are not inventing something new. You are decoding what has always been yours in spirit. So when the doubt comes, speak to it like a teacher to a child. Say, this desire is not an illusion. It is an instruction from the divine. I do not panic. I prepare. I do not force. I flow. I do not beg. I believe. And when the fear whispers, what if it never comes? Reply with stillness, with faith, with the knowing that divine mind does not forget what it has planted. There is no timeline in spirit. Only readiness, and as you release the desperate grasp, you make space for the holy arrival. Let desire be your soul's compass, not your emotional chaos. Let it guide, not grip. Let it breathe. Let it rise. And every day, as you feel that longing awaken, instead of saying, why don't I have it? Ask, who am I becoming to receive it? Because your desire is not just calling for a result. It is calling for a rise in consciousness. It is making you more you, the truer you. The one who lives without fear, without apology, without delay. Repeat this affirmation now. Let it sink in. Desire is the divine blueprint already etched in my soul. Say it again. Desire is the divine blueprint already etched in my soul. You are not off course. You are being carved by grace. You are not too much. You are the exact expression the universe needs to deliver the vision you carry. So stop shaming your longing. Stop hiding your hope. Stop labeling yourself as foolish for wanting what lights you up. That fire is holy. You are not desperate. You are divine. And now, as we continue, let us go deeper into how divine timing unlocks the manifestation, not through your force, but through sacred orchestration that never arrives early and never misses its mark. There is a sacred rhythm to everything that unfolds. But to the human mind, silence feels like abandonment, waiting feels like punishment, and delay can feel like denial. Yet in the realm of spirit, nothing is late. Nothing is lost. Nothing is ever truly denied. The law of divine timing teaches us that what is meant for you will never miss you, but it will not arrive a moment too soon. Because timing in the spiritual dimension is not about the clock on the wall. It's about the readiness of your soul. Imagine a master clockmaker behind a great celestial curtain. You cannot see him, but behind the veil, he is tuning the gears, aligning every tooth in the wheel, adjusting the balance, refining the rhythm. You don't see the hands move, but everything is being set in motion. That is divine timing. The invisible alignment, the silent orchestration, the unseen grace. But what happens when you've prayed, declared, affirmed, and still, the door does not open? Most people break in the hallway between promise and manifestation. They turn frustration into fear. They say, "Why not yet?" But the spiritually awakened say, "What am I being prepared for?" There's a woman I once knew who longed for a child. For years she tried, she cried, she questioned, and just when she had surrendered the fight, not in despair, but in deep release, she was chosen to adopt twins whose mother could not keep them. That same week, that same month, 2 lives in one divine moment, better than she had imagined. Exactly when she no longer gripped, but trusted, she told me later. If I had received what I wanted when I wanted it, I would have missed what was actually mine. This is what the law of divine timing protects you from: premature manifestations that are not rooted in your highest timeline. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Look at the hourglass in your mind now, not filled with sand, but filled with light. Watch the upper chamber glow, slowly releasing divine energy into the now. It does not rush. It does not stall. It turns on its own, perfectly timed by hands you cannot see. Every grain of that light is a step, a shift, a synchronicity. Repeat this prayer softly. Let it become the heartbeat of your weight. I trust the rhythm of divine timing unfolding perfectly. Say it again. I trust the rhythm of divine timing unfolding perfectly. This wait is not wasted. It is sacred incubation. Your answered prayer is still forming in the realm of the unseen. And when it is ready, when you are ready, it will appear as if from nowhere. But it was always coming. You must remember, growth happens in silence. The seed does not shout as it cracks open. The caterpillar does not scream in the cocoon. The sacred shift happens in stillness. What if this waiting is your chrysalis? What if this delay is protection in disguise? What if this pause is the divine whispering, just a little more light, just a little more strength, and then it will be time, because there is no loss in divine mind, and there is no late in divine law. Shift now from the ache of waiting to the art of trusting, because in this pause, your soul is gaining weight. It is anchoring in truth. It is preparing to hold what it once could only reach for. Breathe. Feel that this is not a denial. This is a divine delay. A delay that refines, that elevates, that protects the fullness of your becoming. The delay is not the enemy of your desire. It is the guardian of your destiny. Every time you feel the urge to panic, to force, to demand pause, place your hand on your heart and speak this truth aloud. I am exactly where I need to be, and all that is mine is finding me on time. Say it now. I am exactly where I need to be, and all that is mine is finding me on time, because it is. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. You are not late. You are being aligned. And as we continue, let us now step into how speaking the right words at the right moment can unlock doors that have long been waiting to open. Because divine timing responds to divine declaration, there is a sacred difference between force and command, between striving and knowing, between trying to control life and standing in divine authority. The ego wants to grab the reins. It says, I must make it happen. But the soul whispers, it is already done. To command is not to beg. It is not to chase. It is not to grasp with trembling hands. Spiritual command is the stillness of a mountain. It is the certainty of the sun rising. It is the power that moves through you when your words align with the law of expectancy. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, faith is expectancy, not hope, not maybe, not someday. Faith is a spiritual vision that sees beyond what the eye can detect. It sees the invisible blueprint and speaks to it as if it is already here. You don't ask, how will it come? You declare, it is already mine. You don't push the river. You speak to it, and you trust it to flow. True command flows from alignment, from being tuned to the divine frequency of your desire, not from fear, not from desperation, not from a need to micromanage the universe. Let us reframe the inner dialogue that sabotages miracles, from, what if it doesn't happen, to, what if it's already on the way, from, I need to figure it out, to, I choose to let divine intelligence figure it out for me, from, how can I get it, to, I already have it in the realm of spirit, it's unfolding now. This is not passive. This is spiritual maturity. This is knowing your word is a seed. You plant it once, you water it with gratitude, and then you leave it be. You don't dig it up every morning to check if it's growing. You don't question if the sun will rise or the roots will form. You know, you trust, you rest. So today, speak your sentence of power. Let it rise from the center of your being like a divine decree. Then let go. Not in defeat, but in faith, because you don't need to chase what is already yours in the field of creation. Close your eyes, breathe into your chest, place your hand over your heart. Say this: I command, then I allow. Again, I command, then I allow. This is how miracles arrive, without noise, without panic, without strain. You are not here to force open doors. You are here to speak them open, and then walk through when they swing wide in divine timing. Speak the sentence. Then, surrender. Release your grip on how, when, and through whom. Trust the divine orchestra is already tuning the instruments behind the curtain. Your job is to cue the music, and then wait in peace for the melody to rise. This is commanding without controlling. This is speaking with the authority of one who knows the law. This is resting in the truth that what is aligned must arrive. As we continue, you'll learn how the subconscious obeys this spiritual authority, like fertile soil responds to a seed, because your words are not just sounds, they are scripts written into the heart of your reality. Let's now step into the invisible mechanism that receives your command and makes it flesh. Let's explore the law beneath the surface, the subconscious, gatekeeper of your deepest desires. Now the invitation turns into a challenge, not a challenge of effort, but of consistency, not of force, but of faith. For the next 14 days you will speak a sentence of sacred power, 3 times in the morning, 3 times at night. Not to repeat for repetition's sake, but to program the very atmosphere around you, to tune your field to the vibration of the life you are calling in, to train your mind to follow your voice, not your fear. This is not just about saying words, this is about embodying a vibration. It's about rewiring your reality by realigning your language. Your voice is the wand. Your word is the wand's flame. Every time you speak, you cast a vote for what you believe. You decide whether you're rehearsing your past or rehearsing your miracle. So for 14 days, you become intentional. You become aligned. You become unwavering. You speak the sentence. You speak it into your reflection in the mirror. Look into your own eyes. Let the words echo through your bones. Then speak it into your phone. Record yourself. Play it back. Let it become the soundtrack of your subconscious. Then, write it. By hand. Let it move from thought to ink. From soul to page. This is sacred repetition. This is spiritual reprogramming. This is metaphysical mastery. Each time you repeat the sentence, your aura expands, like ripples on still water, like light pouring from the center of your chest. It is no longer just affirmation, it is activation. You are becoming the frequency of your desire. You are stepping into divine congruence. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that your word is your wand, but a wand unused is powerless. A wand not practiced holds no magic, so this challenge is your awakening to the power of command, to the spiritual law of assumption, to the truth that the subconscious obeys what is consistently spoken. Each night before you sleep, open your journal. Ask yourself, what shifted today? How did I feel when I spoke it? Where did I feel resistance? Where did I feel faith? Track your emotional movement. Watch how your outer world begins to respond to your inner certainty. You may see signs, you may feel nothing at first, but trust that the invisible is always forming. Day by day, you are no longer reacting to circumstances. You are generating your state. You are becoming the cause. Speak this. I give my word divine authority and sacred direction. Let it rise from your belly like a lion's roar. Let it settle into your cells like a prayer. This sentence is not passive. It is not wishful. It is a spiritual command. Say it again. I give my word divine authority and sacred direction. This is the language of kings and queens, of healers and visionaries, of those who have remembered who they are. For 14 days, become that version of you. Not tomorrow. Now if you miss a day, return with grace. If you doubt, keep going. If you feel tired, let your voice still rise. This is the test. This is the initiation. Will you let the old voice of limitation speak louder than your new truth? Or will you rise each day with the courage to speak life, even when nothing has changed yet, even when doubt lingers, even when your eyes cannot see what your soul already knows? Your reality is always listening. It responds not to begging, not to fear, but to the rhythm of repeated faith. So I ask you now, are you willing to speak what's yours into life for just 14 days? Are you willing to let your word lead your world? because the next 14 days are not just about a sentence, they are about becoming the version of you who no longer waits to believe, but speaks and knows, commands and allows, directs and trusts. And when the 14th day comes, you won't just have spoken the words, you'll have become them. Now let's take this spoken frequency and anchor it into the very fabric of your subconscious. Because what you consistently declare, your subconscious begins to prepare. Let's unlock the final gate where inner belief becomes outer reality. The word has been spoken. Now the soil of the subconscious must be tilled. Let's step in. You may not notice the shift in the moment it happens. There's no trumpet, no lightning in the sky, no great explosion announcing, it is done. But your soul will know, because something inside you will feel lighter, quieter, freer, not because the manifestation has arrived, but because your spirit stopped chasing it, and that is the first sign. When your prayer no longer feels like begging, but like breathing, when your desire no longer burns with urgency, but glows with trust. This is how divine transformation introduces itself, not with a shout, but with a whisper that says, "Peace, be still." You'll begin to feel subtle waves of joy with no logical cause. You'll sense clarity in places where confusion once lived. A smile will rise not from the outcome but from a sacred knowing that the outcome is already yours. Florence Scovel Shinn taught, your faith has made it real, and you'll feel it. You'll walk into a room and notice it looks different, but nothing has changed except you. Your inner climate will shift before your outer world catches up, and the law of substitution will begin its quiet work. Fear will be replaced with peace, worry with wisdom, doubt with dominion. This is not magic. This is divine law. When you begin walking in the vibration of answered prayer, the universe reorganizes itself to match your new inner tone. Watch closely. The email you forgot about will arrive. The person who once resisted you will call with openness in their voice. The door you thought was sealed, shut will creak open without effort, not because you forced it, but because your frequency became the key. You'll find yourself uninterested in things you once desperately wanted. That desire wasn't wrong, it was a stepping stone. But when you've become the vibration of what you sought, it stops feeling distant. You no longer chase, you commune. You no longer wish, you witness. It feels like completion. Even in the waiting, it feels like home. Even if the location hasn't changed, you'll walk through your day as if wrapped in a field of light, not visible to the eye, but felt by the soul. And that light is your answered prayer, already forming in the unseen. Close your eyes and see it now. You, standing in the center of a radiant field of answered prayer, everything you once cried for, now blooming around you. Not because you chased, because you aligned. You trusted the silent gate of destiny to open in its perfect hour. You spoke with authority, and then surrendered the outcome to the divine orchestra. Now, the melody begins to play and you recognize the notes. They sound like peace. They sound like joy. They sound like you no longer asking to become, but finally remembering that you are. Here is your affirmation. Say it not with hope, but with sacred conviction. I walk in the vibration of answered prayer. Let this be your soul's compass. And if you've started to feel this shift already, honor it, write it down, speak it aloud, give thanks before you see it, because this shift is not an ending. It is the threshold to the next level of your divine becoming. The next section will show you exactly how to protect this vibration, because the moment your new reality begins to form, the old world will try to pull you back. But you're not going back. You've already crossed through. There is a moment when silence becomes too small to hold your truth, a moment when what lives inside you must be spoken not as a wish, but as a decree. This is that moment. This is your invitation to prophesy your future with your own tongue. Not tomorrow. Now type it in the comments. Write the words that you want to rise and take shape in your life, not as a question, not as a maybe, but as a soul command, sealed in sacred fire. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Your word is your wand, and your comment is more than text. It is declaration. It is activation. It is the law in motion." You are not just watching this video. You are entering a covenant. You are stepping into the divine orchestra and playing your note. Do you feel it? That pull in your spirit? That knowing that says, this is not just another moment, this is a turning point. So write, declare your desire is done, not how it will happen, not when. Only what. Let the universe hear. You speak with the authority of divine inheritance. Let your subconscious witness your courage. Your words in public are seeds in sacred soil. They do not evaporate, they expand, they echo, they return multiplied. So we're not whispering anymore, we're commanding. I speak my divine truth into the world, and it returns fulfilled. Type it, claim it, let the words pass through your fingertips like lightning from heaven, because what you speak here begins to breathe there. Do not let fear hold your hand back. You are not here by accident. You didn't stumble onto this moment. You were guided, summoned, prepared. And now your reality is waiting on your permission. Speak. This is not a performance. This is prophecy. Every letter typed in truth rewrites your subconscious code. Every sentence written in faith becomes a decree in the invisible, and we will witness together what becomes real, because this is not just your moment. This is our movement, a collective awakening. Thousands of souls rising with one voice, one intention, one fire. And in 14 days return. Scroll to your words and tell us what shifted, what opened, what was released, what finally came home. You are not alone in this. This is sacred ground. Every comment beneath this video is a ripple in divine water, a vibration of truth spoken into time, a gate opening because a soul dared to command it. So again, say it with full breath. I speak my divine truth into the world and it returns fulfilled. Say it in the comments. Say it aloud. Say it until your cells. Remember. You are not becoming powerful. You already are. You are not asking for permission. You are awakening your inheritance. And as you write your truth, feel the unseen beginning to respond. The atmosphere around you will shift. The energy within you will strengthen. And your words, pure, bold, and holy, will start carving a new timeline beneath your feet. This is what it means to co-create. This is what it means to walk in dominion. No more silence. No more hesitation. This is your scroll. Write your truth now. And when you return to see what manifested, you will remember the moment it all began. Right here, right now, with one sentence, spoken into the sacred, typed into the collective, and fulfilled in the divine, because the next section will show you how to protect what you've just declared. Now that the seed is planted, we must guard the soil. Let's go. You've received the sentence, not as a spell, not as a charm, but as a compass, a mirror, a key. It is not magic, it is alignment. It is alignment. It works not because it is spoken, it works because it is believed, because it is embodied, because it is spoken as law, not as longing. This sentence you hold is not made of letters, it is made of energy. Of vibration. Of inner knowing that you are not waiting for power, you are remembering it. The sentence does not move the universe for you, it awakens the part of you that already knows how to move with it. It is not a shortcut, it is sacred permission. A divine bridge between the world you see and the truth you carry. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every word spoken in faith is a form of destiny-building. She didn't speak for attention, she spoke for alignment. And now so will you. This sentence is not a candle to wish upon, it is a flame to light your path. And now, it belongs to you. Protect it, feed it with belief, let it become the root of how you speak, how you think, how you act. Let it live in your decisions. Let it whisper in your silence. Let it echo in every space where doubt once tried to rule. You are holding a spiritual law, one that cannot fail when spoken from faith. This is not theory. This is not hopeful thinking. This is spiritual structure, unseen but immovable, invisible but undeniable. You are not waiting on the universe to give. The universe is waiting on you to speak with clarity. And now you can. Now you will. Repeat the sentence slowly with me. I speak my divine truth into the world and it returns fulfilled. Again, I speak my divine truth into the world and it returns fulfilled. Let your heart feel it. Let your breath soften into it. Let it melt resistance from your body. This sentence is your spiritual sword. It cuts through confusion. It breaks old patterns. It clears space for miracles to stand. Use it wisely. Speak it gently, but firmly. From the root of truth, not from the shadow of fear. Do not perform with it, align with it, do not test it, trust it. Speak it when your faith feels strong. Speak it when your faith feels small. Let it be your rhythm in the dark and your celebration in the light. You do not need to control how or when it returns. You only need to release it with belief, and it will not come back empty. That is not opinion, that is law. The same law that governs stars and seasons now honors the words you speak in faith. So from this moment forward, watch what you say, because your mouth is a gate of energy, because your voice is the steering wheel of your life, because the next chapter of your reality is being written by the words you allow to live. So write only what your soul can stand on. Speak only what your spirit can build with. Bless every syllable. Let every phrase carry light. And above all, speak not from lack. Speak from the light within you. The part of you that is already whole, already worthy, already ready. May your words build the life you were born to live, and may that life overflow so fully. Others are healed just by hearing you speak. This is the end of the video, but it is only the beginning of your reality. Restructured. Go forward. Not with noise, but with knowing, because now the sentence is yours. Use it wisely.